Oh, it's... Oh, right, we also need to turn that off. No, not LAN. Do 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 do. I don't think anyone told him that he was supposed to co-cast with me. Hello.
We are live. I got
All
you
right.
on the stream here.
Okay, well, I'm here with... I'm up as well. Just waiting for the lobby to get going.
Awesome. Let me send you the replays real quick. That way you can cast them at the same time.
Yes, those would be useful to have.
Okay. I'm going to...
We're doing replays first, I assume.
Yes. Yeah, we'll start with the replays. Those are the two beginner level matches, and then we'll get into the advanced games here. Give me half a moment, folks. Bear with me while I get a hold of these replays. I've got... Everything is super organized. Here we go. A couple of zips. Okay, those are the two replays we're doing. We'll start with Lupus versus YSTMB. But I sent both those to you. And what I'll do is I'll count down 3, 2, 1, go when you are ready.
Included.
All right.
So we can watch at the same time.
I'll just post them over real quick.
Yep. How are the volume levels, guys? I assume I should be good, but should I turn up Big Pimpintosh here? Let me actually pull up the chat so I can see the answer to that. Good. Hey, Clown. Hey, Meek. Hey, Tatanka. Got a lot of people in here. Love to see it. It's a little quiet. Okay, I'll turn him up just a touch here. Let's try a good old 140% and go from there. Snake, I'm doing well. How about you?
Stick them in.
Goris says he's ready to hear Tosh tell people to stop being so French. I don't understand. Are you French?
Oh, that's no, that's a meme. I made fun of Gentleman once for surrendering early by saying
my god.
By saying he needed to stop being so French.
Okay, I get that. That's funny.
Okay.
Very nice.
Right, I got the game sent. I'm ready to go when you are.
Alrighty. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that, Snake. I feel that too, though. Sometimes TNT just isn't going so well. Alrighty, folks. I believe we're all good to go. So let me pull up the game on the stream here. We're going to start with Lupus versus YSTMB.
Yeah, who's King Taravanigian.
I love it.
In.
Taravangian. Yes, I love that name.
I think it's something Viking related. I'm pretty sure like the Vangarian guards were like the Vikings who worked for the Byzantine Empire, but
I'll buy that.
I might be just making a mistake.
I'll buy it. I mean, I do remember those guys, the Swedish ones who got down through Eastern Europe down to the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah. But that's from a half-remembered memory of Crusader Kings 3, so citation needed.
Fair enough. Alrighty, if anybody wants to look up the Taravangian reference there, go for it, post it in the chat. But otherwise, we are ready to go. So,
right.
Lupus versus King Taravangian. 3, 2, 1. We're in. Alrighty, folks, we have Lupus, my brother, in the bottom here in the blue. And we've got King Taravangian, also YSTMB, in the yellow in the top left. So, what are you thinking about these decks here, Ben?
Okay, so let's see. Lizard, Skunk, Cam, Snake, Wolf, Machine Gun against Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Skunk, Snake, Badger. Now, I don't think they have any actual deck restrictions, do they? In the Clan Wars?
Nope. Okay. These are Clan Wars' regular best of 3 games here.
All right. So I mean, YT SMB has definitely taken the more standard deck, but I honestly think it's probably going to lose to Lupus's.
Yeah, this is pretty normal for Lupus. He's good with his turrets. He likes them, and he likes his tier 2 Death Ball plus Wolf kind of stuff. So. Yeah. He definitely is used to playing this.
If that Wolf comes out with a decent army behind it, then Lupus should just roll over, because a Badger can't really stand up to a wolf buffed Snake army, or even wolf buff Cams, wolf buff Lizards can all catch up to it and do a lot of damage. Like, yeah. YTSMB doesn't have a lot of stuff that's really good against Wolf, and he doesn't have anything good against Lizards until he gets his 4 Skunks up. And yeah. I mean, Lupus has so many answers to the Skunks that I really think this is Lupus's game to lose just from the off.
Sure. Now, I'll be interested to see how Lupus uses this. He tends to play in a pretty unconventional style. This turret usage is kind of interesting to watch, for sure. Also, we have Leon in the chat here. He says, the Varangian Guard, you are correct.
Nice.
About that. So that is super cool. I love that.
Surprised what I know sometimes.
King Harald Hardranger or something like that was a notable man from the Guard. He took over Norway and almost England as well.
Oh, he's that one. He's the Battle of Stamford Bridge Viking.
Cool. Yeah, I got to study my study my Viking history.
I mean, we don't learn about him. He's the least important one in that whole conflict, but he's still there. Gave us some noticeable stories. The Viking at Stamford Bridge is famous. Oh, but yeah. So we can talk about this game.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just going to say Lupus got some damage here. He lost a couple extra lizards at the end there, but he did kill a farm.
Lupus is so ahead. He's picked off 3 farms, I think. Although he's getting countered attack. King YTSMB is using his tempo advantage really well. If he can get off that last farm, which I think
Lupus needs to be fighting from behind his mill, not in front of it. He actually lost a bit of his defender's advantage there.
You can't really fight from behind the mill with lizards. It's why they're worse on defense.
Fair enough, but I guess get close enough so the squirrels are actually shooting the mill, and then fight in.
That would be
that's
ideal. Right. But he also wanted to try and protect the farms, which are building.
Okay, so he's going to say, never mind, I don't really want to feel like holding this mill. I'm going to take a back mill instead.
I mean, that mill's pretty safe for him with the lizards. He's got so much map control. This is actually a fairly good lizard map, simply because of how open YTSMB's bases are, but on the flip side, all that water will slow down the lizards a bit, so YTSMB has some defense.
Yes, and this might be... You got to be careful attacking into the squirrel spot, but if YSTMB's not paying attention, he might actually get quite a bit of damage done here. 2 pigs.
2 pigs, quite a lot of lizards, but I mean 2 pigs for 6 lizards-ish, 6 or 7. So yeah, fairish trade, pretty even.
Now, the problem is Lupus got to be careful here out in the open. Also, YSTMB is still ahead on economy, so
Lupus can just attack here. Lupus is making a huge mistake here by running away. He had even numbers of lizards. He was in the open. He would win that fight. But
yeah, and he
bleeding.
just threw away every single lizard.
Yeah,
basically.
he just lost everything. I think, considering he's 2 farms behind as well, this should be a win now for YTSMB. And I love that he's taking this mill here. He's got the 60 food extra to set up the base. Now he can get a forward hold, and like it doesn't matter how open the rest of the map is because the lizards can't have to go through.
Yeah, Lupus keeps dancing with his lizards when you got to let him get in there and shoot, because every time you retreat and go in again, the squirrels keep shooting and your lizards are not.
I think now Lupus is just too far behind.
Yeah, of course he holds. He lost a pig there, lost a turret and a warren, but King Taravangian over here is getting some skunks. I mean, he just has so much of a lead. It doesn't matter what he does, really. Yeah, Lupus was playing pretty well until he threw away the lizards there. I think that was a bad judgment call. He basically let all of the lizards get picked off for free instead of fighting a fight that he could win or at least tie up more evenly.
Yeah, this looks really bad for... Oh, I mean, obviously YTSMB has won this game, but... Yeah. I mean, it all came from that one mistake with Lupus where he threw away his lizards, so... Lupus should be able to, you know, at least... He's got a chance as long as he doesn't make that mistake again. Yeah,
I think they're both playing very well. Pretty evenly matched, it seems.
Yeah, that was just pretty even. It's just one big mistake that snowballed. Okay.
Oh, I never actually sent this. Whoopsie.
Right, well, let me know when you are ready to go for game 2.
Alright, I believe I am ready here. Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1. We're in. So this is a best of 3, so one game is actually a pretty big deal here. Yeah. We've got Lupus in the top left and YSTMB in the bottom right. Totally different decks here. Look at that.
Both players taking ferrets, which is not something you see often. But
yeah,
I'm always happy.
Both players also going with the turret, so ferret turret kind of idea, right?
Yeah. You set up the forward hold with the turrets, and then you just hit from behind with the ferrets. I'm downloading the wrong files. Whoops. I'm trying to also.
And I'm gonna strongly favor Lupus in this deck because the addition of the balloons is gonna really strengthen a forward position if he gets them down and shut down potential Fox later on. Also, having the pigeons can help Lupus stay alive against skunk gas.
Yeah, the balloons do a lot in this matchup because they're siege units and anti-siege units, so they will hold off the ferrets and the fox pretty effectively.
Yeah. And also, vision is always good.
Yeah, and with ferret v ferrets, the machine guns should be a non-issue for both players. It's basically a wasted deck slot at this point, but they've both wasted it.
Right, so, yeah, so it's
even. But that's obviously, that works more in Lupus's favour because now he still has a defensive structure.
Right. Yes, good point. Lupus does have snakes as well, which even further nullifies turrets, although I do like the toads. The toads could make a difference there in, if you get a good toad hit on some squirrel ferret or something.
You can never really write off toads until they've blown up. But, I mean... YTSMB's best bet is probably just a mass tier 1 because Lupus doesn't have any skunks or cams, no toads, no AoE. His best anti-tier 1 unit is machine guns. So if
and he won't be afraid of using those, that's for sure.
If YTSMB
now I'm a little worried here. Do you agree that ferrets are best when you're already ahead, kind of a thing? Because otherwise your army just isn't as good.
Yeah, ferrets are best when at keeping your opponents down. They work like snakes, where if you've got, because they can kill basically any unit in one shot, and they can kill structures really quickly. If you've got the front foot, then you can just stop your opponent from recovering.
Right.
Completely.
So let's see how this goes. Currently, YSTB should have a squirrel lead pretty strongly here. The ferret does go down.
Yeah,
Lupus might have gone into ferrets a little bit too quickly, but that wasn't too bad for him, though. He did cancel a farm.
Yeah, that's something. He needed to wait for both, at least, I think. And he wants to start getting machine guns set up on this as far forward as he can.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can't get any machine guns on this high ground.
No, but I mean, he's got the high ground vision because his units will be standing there. So if he can just put it on the low ground, then it should be fine. He definitely wants to hold the high ground with his ferrets because that just lets him destroy this mill that YTSMB is trying to expand to. And this looks like a
okay. YSTMB actually blundered some micro there. I think a lot of the squirrels were bunched up and getting shot at.
Yep, that was a major mistake. He's also lower because he's trying to go for his own ferrets now, which is a odd choice.
Now Lucas has just got a strong position, and look at that turret placement there. Oh, he does drop it.
Okay. The mill, that backwards mill, has given him a bit of extra territory. I think dropping the machine guns is fine at this point. It's ferret v ferret. The machine guns will die pretty quickly.
Oh, I do like the balloon though. If that balloon does go up, Lucas has it.
And it looks like it will because YTSMB's left his army. He's dropped a ferret. Oh, if Lupus is getting a much worse engagement with the squirrels, it looks like, as
it doesn't matter though, I think.
But Lupus has enough numbers. Yeah, and with the balloon up, that gives Lupus so much map.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that basically locks YTSMB out of any expansions, and we're nearly at the 5-minute mark. So
besides maybe a ninja over here.
Yeah, well, I guess he's got these left mills.
There's no way that Lupus could actually get over there from a back door.
I completely blanked on all of these left mills. Yeah, YTSMB still has quite a lot of room to expand. I mean,
he's definitely still behind. Lupus has got a lead here, but that is quite important that
YTSMB has had this campfire going for quite a while, so he's been ahead in eco technically.
So what do you think now, Lupus dropping the ferrets and going snake instead?
I think that makes perfect sense because the snakes basically do the ferrets' job better at this point, especially against other ferrets. Oh, this is a bad trade for Lupus, so a lot of his units are getting so clumped up in that tiny choke point around the mill.
Yeah,
you've always got to be careful.
And that balloon is going to go down.
Yeah, the balloon goes down next.
Oh, he sells it, okay.
Okay, he gets some value back.
That's good. Okay, so Lupus fallen behind a little bit, not completely out yet, but that definitely was a bit of a loss there for sure.
Yeah, and YTSMB did get his expansion up so he can put down farms. This is actually looking a lot better for YTSMB now. Although I'd probably sell the ferrets if I were him and just go for more squirrels against the squirrel snake. Maybe even go for toads or skunks. The ferrets might do alright, but I think they're risky. I don't have a high opinion of ferrets in general. But
sure, I mean, it's a mental game where they kind of scare your opponent more than actually do all that much.
I mean, he's just lost both his ferrets to the snake poison because he didn't micro them at all. But I mean, they did have some nice vision on that mill, at least.
I'd love to see Lupus save that snake. That was a blunder. Yeah. If your snake is so low, just let your squirrels do the work.
Look at how well the squirrels did and how quickly the ferrets died. I think that's justifying my disdain for the ferrets in this scenario.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. The ferrets did very, very little to nothing for YSTMB there. I mean, still, I wish Lupus had pulled back that last snake. That he didn't need to get the last squirrel
definitely
killed.
Could have saved at least
for
one
a snake.
One of those snakes.
You always want to save your tier too.
Ferrets are really bad in this situation where there's so small army because it's very easy for your opponent to dodge the ferret shots. I'm getting more and more convinced that the ferrets need to get sold.
Now, on the other hand, YSTMB is 2 farms ahead on such low economies, so he can afford to blunder a tier 2 here or there as long as he doesn't all-out die here.
Yet he needs to survive first because he's actually behind on tempo. Getting those farms put him behind on his tier 2 count. And if
Lupus, save the snake.
If he doesn't get the snake, then okay, that snake should just clear up all these warrens, and that's going to be GG quickly.
Okay, another snake coming in.
Yeah.
Full health, very nice. I think you're absolutely right about the ferrets. I'm going to say that might be the key point here is if those ferrets had been anything else, YSTMB would still have been alive there.
Yeah. I mean, those ferrets are... That's 240 food. You could get at least 6 squirrels out of that.
Yep. All right, so good on Lupus there. I think he made a good call selling his own ferrets when he saw the way the game was going, and that won him the game there, I think.
The swap into snakes definitely worked because snakes are far better when you're behind than ferrets are.
Yep, absolutely. All righty, let's get to game 3 here. This is exciting.
This is actually you versus Enamel, isn't it?
Oh, no. We've got a game 3 for Lupus and YSTMB, yeah?
Well, do we? I thought Lupus won both.
correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Did YSDMB win the first game, or
I mean, we
or
could just
Lupus?
start the third game and find out.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Into the third game, and if it's a duplicate, we'll see. 3, 2, 1. We're in.
Oh yeah, YTSMB did win the first game because Lupus lost all his lizards.
That's right.
That was
that's
that
right.
game. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's 1-1. All right.
All right. Lupus up here in the top right, and YSTMB in the far bottom here. YSTMB going back to his Badger deck, and Lupus going for a
almost the same
boar
deck,
timing.
but with Cam instead of Skunk and Boar instead of Badger. So a very similar deck because even those units function pretty similarly.
Yeah, and quite defensive actually. I think because we've got a Boar Pigeon, no Falcon, so I think it's like the kind of thing you want to play defensive for. Maybe am I wrong in that?
I think Boar is definitely more defensive than Badger as a tier 3. It's just so hard to push into. It can be used to attack, but Badger is definitely the more offensive unit.
Yeah, definitely, because it gets most value when it's fully revved up and in a fight.
Yeah.
Hey, Rainbow, welcome in. That last game was pretty close for sure. I'm excited to see where these guys go from here. Lupus is changing it up like in major ways each game, I think.
Snake v snake, pigeon v pigeon. This is really going to come down to micro and the actual comp that they come up with. I don't think there's much to separate these two decks.
I think both of them have lots of compositions within that they could go with, so I think you're right. It has a lot to do with which sub comp they actually go with.
And there's not an obvious map advantage as far as I can see. It looks like
Lupus is in huge trouble if he doesn't hold this. I'll say that early on. You got to grab this mill, otherwise you're in trouble. But later on, I think you're right. It's pretty even. Because Lupus doesn't have a backdoor expand or anything obvious on the side, right?
Well, no. I guess he's on the side here, just as close to YTSMB. So yeah, it's a bit Lupus disadvantaged. He needs to hold this mill. But
yeah, I would just feel a little bit naked as Lupus, but
now that YTSMB is committed to this mill, he's in the same spot where he needs to hold his forward mill as well.
Yeah, so you get the weird position where both sides are very close to each other, and you get a really scrappy game.
Yeah, Lupus getting shots on the mill there takes it down to half.
Gotta be careful.
YTSMB responds, but he can't retreat here.
Yeah, a little bit of miss micro from Lupus there. YSTB is going to hold just fine. And Lupus is going to have to get that snake. If that snake can tag the mill a couple times, I think that's what his main goal was.
That mill is so injured that a couple snakes it should do it, but trying to push while building up a tier 2 is pretty risky. He's left himself very open to a counterattack. Especially because Snake.
Sure enough, that snake is going to die like instantly if he doesn't get back there and microed away.
He's not
dead
microing
snake.
the snake at all. He does tank a lot of shots, but you really want to be getting more value out of it.
Yeah, snakes are not supposed to be tanks.
They don't have awful health, but it's not what they're for.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Lupus and I are pretty evenly matched. He's overall a little better than me, but one thing I do have on him is my snake micros is pretty good. I will at least keeping it alive. If the goal is keeping it alive, I've got him.
Well, the goal is to keep it alive while making it do stuff. It's easy to keep it alive if you just run into the corner.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I've seen some people do. Where I've done it myself. Where I'm so focused on keeping the snakes alive, I don't actually let them shoot.
Fair enough. Darius Hart saying the snake is going to get obliterated versus Mass Squirrel. Absolutely correct, Darius. I think the snake was just to try to pick off that mill. However, that's the second snake lost, and the mill is already above half health, so I think YSTMB is keeping the pressure on very nicely here.
This is so bad. YTSMB's commander even went down, so we can't micro. This is probably GG. Oh no, sorry, that was... YTSMB's commander did go down, but it was Lupus who... It was Lupus on the defense.
Yeah, YSTMB was so far ahead in army that even without any micro, he just crushed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it actually helped him because his commander just tanked all of those hits for his army. So
right.
Losing his commander was actually advantageous there.
Yeah, this is going to be it.
Yeah, Yeah, there's no coming back.
I think Lupus felt like he had to hold that that forward mill as well, and
going
the snake was an unfortunate pick.
No, going snake first is fine, but because he lost all his squirrels in that first push, it meant that he wasn't able to build up decent support for it, and Lupus could just counterattack in.
Yeah, I think you're right. That early push there from Lupus, where he messed up a little bit and lost a bunch of squirrels, really spiraled out of control for him.
Yeah.
All right, that's a point on the board for the Badger Missionaries then. Why are you taking it?
BM.
Yes. Yeah, your chat, we've got a caster from each team here. I'm the LWM, and Tosh is the Badger Missionaries player. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's get into one of my games. I played this earlier today versus Enamel.
All right.
Let me edit my scoreboard real quick.
Yeah, I should get.
And we'll be ready to go. I should get a second scoreboard for the overall team score, but love it. Thank you, Darius, for the air horn there. Okay, I'm going to be playing yellow. I know that. I don't remember what Enamel was off the top of my head, but all right, ready for
it? Sure. 3,
2, 1, we're in. Thank you, Lindana. Alrighty, Enamel over here in the blue in the left, and myself, Tender Draco. I'll probably refer to myself in the third person for this cast, in the far right. Now, what are you thinking here, Pim?
Okay, so, well, it's Badger versus Owl, which is an immediate advantage to Enamel. The rest of the deck: Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Cam, Snake against Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk, Snake, Mine. That's pretty even. The Falcons will help Enamel out a lot as well. They're good against the Skunks and the Snakes. Can avoid the Mines completely. Can counteract the Owls. Yeah, this is looking very good for Enamel.
Yeah, I don't think Yellow here has any good late game answers to the Badger or the Falcon. Like, late game, Tender Draco is in big trouble without Falcons. Because Mines aren't really going to help that much against somebody who has Pigeons, or the Falcons, obviously, right?
Yeah. They can, if you get lucky with them, they can blow up the Badger, but that's that's not something you can rely on.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, I think Yellow should have a bit of an early game advantage, since Enamel does not have Skunk. For a little bit there, Yellow could have an advantage with the Mine and the Skunk.
Maybe. I think the Cams should be able to hold. The Cam Pigeon, especially, I think, should be able to hold.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Evenly.
Cams shut down the Skunks pretty hard as well, yeah.
Because it's not like Cams mean that Enamel can't get just completely run over by tier 1 spam. The Falcon, Cam, and Snake all do pretty well against the Skunk. Plus, he's got the Pigeons to counteract the Skunk and the Snake poison from Tendorko. So I think Enamel's just got a really solid deck against what Tendorko's bringing.
Makes sense. Both sides going up to 3 Warrens. Yellow is getting an expansion up and a first farm. Enamel a little slower on the expansion, but he's getting Snake. What do you think of that? Early Snake?
I think Snake as your first tier 2 is fine, because I mean the most common tier 2 first is Skunk, because it's really good against tier 1, but Snake is really good against Skunk, so it's kind of like you're anticipating your opponent. And in small numbers of tier 1, Snake is still fine if you micro it well. So
right. And sure enough, Yellow is getting the Skunk, so the Snake should do pretty well there. Now, Yellow is getting a lot of farms here ahead of Enamel, so economically he's getting a bit of a lead.
Yeah.
And with all these campfires and space in between,
2 campfires,
I feel like
3 mines.
Pretty safe to expand.
Yeah, it's pretty safe for Tendorko to play pretty greedy right now. I'd like to see either player just sell a tier 1 Warren and spam it all into farms, because it doesn't look like there's an attack coming from either end anytime soon.
Yeah. Now, an interesting thing for Tender Draco is the mine vision. It's a lot of money in mines with all 4 of them there, but it gives them a little bit of vision of this potential spot here, a little bit of future damage from those. So, that could do something here.
Could do.
Also, look at this mass squirrel from Enamel, while Standard Draco's got a big lead in economy.
Tandorko, did he sell something to get that down? I wasn't paying attention. I was looking more at the mines.
Yes,
saw, but
I do remember
that, feels like
that I had sold a Squirrel Warren and more Squirrel Warrens.
Yeah,
so that's why he only has 4 out right now.
That felt like a sell.
Also, look at this misclick twice. I was like, I don't want 2 skunks. I want a skunk and a snake. And then I did it again. It made the same mistake again, so my snakes are really late right now.
Yeah, that could be a problem against Skunk Cam.
Okay, the blue army's chilling in the skunk gas a lot.
That's some pretty good gas value. The pigeons stay behind. You gotta sometimes.
Yeah, that
you gotta, because pigeons like to stay at the back of the army. When you're retreating, that means they go to the front. So you've got to pull them back specifically.
Right.
Wow, that swung really hard in Tandorko's favor there.
A bit of an overextension from Enamel, and I think I remember targeting down his tier 2s as well as keeping my skunk alive.
Yeah. All the tier 2s going. It looked like the mine hit the cam really hard, which meant he had no tanking or anti-squirrel. And then the snake just got burst down. Plus, some of his reinforcements were dying to the campfire.
Right. Now, a little bit of pigeons here can go a long way in some prolonged, repeated fights.
Space for Tandorko with that tiny choke point and the 2 skunks. But the snakes are able to shoot from outside it. If Tandorko pulls back here, I think he can claim a victory. But it was pretty even, actually. I mean, looking at the army graph, that's huge. That's a huge win for Enamel. Because Enamel was so far behind on army. To trade evenly is a big achievement.
Now, yellow is still ahead, but just not as ahead as it used to be, as he was, according to the graph there, right?
Yeah, Enamel has... Well, Enamel's basically jumped right back up now, but...
He did sell off his cams.
Yeah. The cam sell is odd. I guess he just couldn't afford it, but he should be able to at 12.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to sell off a pigeon or a skunk, or a pigeon or a snake than the tier 2. Also, I think this should be a blunder here.
Race. That's... I mean, he's taking the campfire, but I still don't see how this works, especially because Tandorko's already got this mill built. Like, this... I don't think this works at all for...
Yeah, I had bought this mill. Even if I hadn't bought this mill, though...
And the campfire doesn't even go up. Yeah, people underestimate how long it takes a campfire to start building.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be... Because, you know, it's a small... one farm thing. People assume it'll be up quickly. It's not. It's like a whole 25 seconds, 30 maybe.
Yeah, it's quite a while. Hey, thanks, Leon, and Shenshay, and Darius. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And Lindana. Alrighty, so Tender Draco's going to take game 1 here, and we'll go into game 2. I think Enamel had a pretty good spot there. He just threw it away with the base trade, unfortunately. Yeah. It was not a great call.
Okay.
Ready for it? You can count us off.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Excellent.
All right. So we got squirrel, pigeon, falcon, skunk, snake, badger against squirrel, toad, skunk, snake, owl, balloon. Not too dissimilar decks.
I think he just swapped out the cam for skunk. He might not have liked how the cams went last time. I found myself not being too ridiculously scared of cams. Like, they're not that hard to kite away from if you have snakes or something.
Snakes do really well against cams. You just got to make sure that you can keep enough of your army alive while kiting them.
Right. Okay, so Tender Draco's going with the 4-farm double and kind of throwing off his own timing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think he's intending to actually attack. It looks like he's intentionally supply blocking his own.
If he ever was, then he shouldn't now.
I think he might just be trying to mind game his way ahead. Or at least that's what it's going to end up being, is a little ahead on economy.
You sure it wasn't just a mistake? You positive?
I think it's both. I think it was my intention and I messed it up anyway. I don't actually ever want to do a 4-farm double with squirrels if it's scouted right away.
The early doubles timing are pretty tight because you've got so little food to work with. You need to practice them quite a lot. It's easy to make a mistake. I don't know how Meek always manages to get them out, but
he practiced them a lot, I'm sure.
I can't do it most of the time.
Yeah. So it looks like Tender Draco has a slight, like, late farm there, so it's pretty much tied up.
Yeah, farm-wise, that shouldn't really make a difference. We're talking like, what, 5, maybe 10 seconds?
Now this might make a difference. Got a little bit of an attack coming. And the commander goes down.
The commander going down is huge, but a pig... Oh no, the pig survives. That's even huger. Because now the
just took a lot of damage.
And this counterattack could be... Tandorko should have enough to hold, thanks to how far Enamel's got to run.
Yeah, also high ground here, and where I'm tanking, I should be able to hold just fine. Definitely scary though. That was a lot of free squirrels.
Enamel probably shouldn't have pushed there. That doesn't quite even it up because that was more of a trade, whereas Tandorko, where the fight before was just a loss for Tandorko, but still, Enamel's not crazy far ahead.
Yeah, if he had taken the money from the extra squirrels and like teched up or expanded up with it, I think he'd be much further ahead right now. Okay, so this is good for Tender Draco, I think. Getting the skunk in a pure mass squirrel situation.
He already knows he's behind on army, and now he's gone for an expansion, a tier 2, and a farm at the same time. That is a lot. That's 240 worth of food that he's spending while being behind on army. But
it's very greedy. It is very greedy.
If that skunk comes out, and it's looking more and more like it will, then he's in a good spot. You know, greed pays off a lot more when you're further behind. So his greed is going to pay off a lot more than Enamel's is.
It's like you have to take risks in order. There's another one. Sold off a squirrel to get more and more farms up. Super greedy. Leon says all squirrel rushes fail. I don't know about all, but it's definitely harder to pull off with the slower unit.
Especially, you can't... You need it to either not be scouted, or you need to be really close together.
Right.
Okay, this is a really easy spot for Tandorko to hold here, due to the double high ground with the mill and the choke point full of skunk gas. He should be able to hold this very effectively. I even expect Enamel to consider just walking all the way around and attacking from this east spot.
The pigeons for Enamel make a huge difference in this kind of fight. If you have mass squirrel against some skunks, the pigeons can actually keep some stuff alive for quite a while in skunk gas. It's not perfect, but
plus they give him high ground vision.
Those pigeons may make a huge difference.
Yeah, the pigeons giving high ground vision and keeping the squirrels alive should help, but I feel like
that's right. I forgot about high ground vision. That's huge
too many
too.
Squirrels for such a small space that I think Tandorko, I mean, he's retreating when he didn't need to.
He should be able to. He already lost 2 or 3
actually
pigs.
Got the gas up first, so that choke point actually worked against Tandorko rather than for him. Also, he was going for an owl at the time. Now he's doubling down for 2.
Yeah, I think the owl was a huge blunder here. Not going to be able to pay for both of those.
He'd already been pretty greedy with the farms. Like putting the tier 3 down was even greedier. Like it's been the Tandorko's thing the entire game is the further behind he gets, the greedier he acts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the 2 owls are completely supply blocking each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm holding fine, except those pigeons are doing their work, but behind I'm like so supply blocked, and I'm trying to get those owls up. And it's just not going to work. You can see I'm panicking a little bit there, just running around in circles.
I'm being told to go fight Tiki now, and I don't think that's right.
Yes, we're going to be casting that live here, so after...
they're saying right
after
now.
These games.
Like they want me to leave here, which doesn't make sense.
Oh, no. We'll keep you in here just until I get the lobby up, so you know where you're going, and then we'll call that good.
Anyway,
yeah, Tender Jack was already lost at this point. The owl is not even close to enough.
Who won the first round? I think it wasn't
I
Enamel.
did.
Yeah, he went for the base race.
So we're going into game 3.
So we're going into game 3. Yep. Too much greed from Tandorko.
Yes. And both sides, both games 1 and 2, I think were decided by the loser making a blunder. Like the failed base race for Enamel for game 1, and then too much greed from me. So it's kind of like who's losing rather than who's winning, it seems like. All right, ready for game 3?
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
We are in. Enamel in the top here, fighting for the Badger Missionaries. One game is going to take the point either way. Tender Draco in the bottom right for Lizard Wizard Magic. We have pretty similar decks this time. I think Tender Draco just swapped out the Toads for Pigeons here.
Yeah. Tender Draco changed Toads for Pigeons, but otherwise it's the same. Neither player mixing it up. Pretty defensive bases to start with. Hard for either player to expand to a 3rd and 4th. So it looks like we're going to get a 2 base up to tier 3s, meet in the middle, and that probably favours Enamel. Or maybe not, because Enamel has gone for a 5 farm double squirrel rush. Tandorko has not yet scouted.
Just now scouting, 5 farm double.
That's really dangerous. Only scouting it once the tier 1s have already started building. Because now 2 are already out.
It's going to be too late here. The 6 farm triple, like a pig is going to die. There's nothing about it.
Yeah,
a pig's gonna die.
Probably only one, maybe only one.
Here he comes.
It is a long way. Squirrels are just so slow compared to lizards. Okay, I think Tandorko. Well, I think Enamel should have just ran home.
Okay, so we had 4 squirrels lost for Enamel and 2 for Tender Draco and a pig. So slightly in favor of Enamel.
Yeah.
Potentially there.
It's basically 2 squirrels for a pig, and that's a perfectly fine trade.
Yeah. Now, Tender Draco was farming up behind this a lot more aggressively, still with the 2 Warrens. So I think
third farm,
I think Tender Draco needs to pull ahead here.
I don't think that will lead, especially not if he's supply blocked. He's not going to be able to keep up the attack. I think
and the longer you're sitting on less than 8 farms, the worse it gets.
Yeah, Enamel really probably should have not put down that farm and just gone for all in on the tier 1 rush, or sold a tier 1 and gone up to 8 farms.
Yeah, the in-between response is not necessarily working for him.
Yeah, and this is I mean, he's losing a lot of... He's lost quite a few squirrels there. Still early game, though.
Yes, and if we're looking at the graphs, it's still pretty tied up between the two. I think Tender Draco's got a bit of a lead here because he gets the tech up faster. But, you know, it's not awful on either side. Hey, Snowy Tater. Shenshei, it feels a little bit strange casting my own games because I already know everything that happens, so I'm concerned with, you know, still having it be a good cast and still hype for everybody. So it's a little challenge, but it's fine. I'm not weirded out by it or anything. Check out this ninja over here for Enamel.
Apparently I'm playing Tiki as well now.
It's an interesting choice.
Okay, Enamel going for the corner mill. That's getting scouted immediately. That's a shame. Like, it's not a bad ninja in theory, but
yeah, I think I remember. I didn't have all of the maps scouted yet, and so I was like, okay, let me just check everywhere because he hasn't expanded, and I don't see his money, so he has to have a ninja, right?
Oh, and a lot of his tier 1 walking through the gas and getting picked off.
Yeah, his army was all split up, and mine was together, so this is a big win for Tender Draco here. Probably could just go in and end it, but
probably
doesn't in this case. It's gonna take the advantage and farm up here instead.
Yeah. Taking ninja mills is a tricky art. You've got to make sure that it's unlikely for your opponent to scout there.
Right. Now, if I had already scouted that corner, it might be different, but considering I had not scouted at all...
I mean, you'd also be unlikely to scout there if you came in and you saw a mill or like a tier 3 or something that justified the expenditure. But
yes,
the other way Enamel could have done it is by threatening to attack. Of course, he couldn't do that then because he had such a smaller army. But, I mean, imagine if he was coming in now while all of Tandorko's squirrels are over there. He would have destroyed... he might still, because the army's still very split up for Tandorko. But they get together, and actually, oh dear, he's not microing his skunks to shoot at the squirrels at all. He's getting his skunks to shoot at the skunks. Which...
The skunks shooting at skunks with pigeons, too.
Yeah.
And one of the skunks is pulled back in time to survive, so that, again, a big win for Tendo Draco on that fight as well.
Yeah, Enamel's going to have to play his heart out to win here, and he starts by losing a snake. That's not what you want.
Little squirrels splitting their fire here, but now that the mill is gone, that issue is taken care of, and it should be just to go and kill him now. That's a lot of squirrels.
Well, I don't know what Enamel's thinking here, trying to pull back. He needs to defend those warrens.
Yeah, you're right, although I think at this point it doesn't matter.
He's already lost. It
lost.
doesn't really matter what he does. Yeah, that's a definite loss.
Alrighty, so we've got a point here for Blizzard Wizard Magic and for Badger Missionaries. And then we're going to go into... Big Pimpatosh is going to hop off here and play against... Is that Tiki you are playing against?
Tiki now. They've mixed it up because people aren't here.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm going to make a lobby with the password clan if you would like to pop in there, and I will leave the chat, and I'll be back afterwards.
Was clan singular, right? No. Oh, I should probably get rid of that. Just move the stream. Alright. 2 best of 3s against TK. Not great odds. Still not impossible. Okay, I should think about this. Tiki was playing a lot of tier 2 decks, so the Badger might actually be pretty useless here. And he was playing with Toad, so the Lizards might be pretty useless here. Yeah, I think I've picked a bad deck. Not a type of place I can easily rush either. Hard for me to get in there. There's no way Tiki's putting moles down. Not a brilliant map. Not an easy expansion point. So maybe we just one base all in. It's not exactly easy for him to expand either. Well, this is going badly. Go pigs, attack! possibly could have held if I put more tier 1 down instead of the Badger in the last game. I expected my lizards to get more done than they did. Get rid of that. That was a tense one, but worked all right. I completely forgot I was streaming this, so I haven't been talking much. I had to really claw that one back. I thought it was over when he got my mill. Okay, he's seen it. Just go for the pig. Such a long way there and back. So behind on eco right now. I'm way too far forward with my... I went way too far forward with my cams there. This was a Hail Mary. Not like I had a better option. Like literally this attack, if I just held my cams back, let him walk into me. I didn't know he had the squirrel so close, but I should have figured. Hello?
Hey, hey, welcome back, Tosh.
Man, I messed up that last fight so badly. I had my cams too far forward. I didn't know he had the squirrels right behind him, but I should have figured it out.
That's all right. It was a bold strategy.
Yeah, I'm not good at aggression. I'm not good at the 4-farm doubles, but it did nearly work out. I was like one more pick off from pulling it off.
You definitely did some damage in the beginning there for sure. Some good stuff.
I was hoping to catch him off guard.
Alrighty, so we've got Meek here in the top right and Rattan in the far left.
Yeah, okay, so Daffy's playing for the Badger Missionaries, correct? Because...
yes, Daffy is Rattan, and yes, he is for Badger Missionaries. Meek is for Lizard Wizard Magic.
Okay. Well, it's Meek is the obvious favorite here.
Yeah, I believe Meek is a very top 4 Premier player, and Rattan is a solid intermediate.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Solid intermediate pushing on Premier, but Meek is at the other end of Premier. You know, he's in the finals now of the Premier League, so he's doing pretty well. And Meek going for a contained build. Squirrel, Lizard, Toad, Ferret, Fox, Machine Gun.
I misspoke, folks. Meek is currently top 2. He just made it to the finals, so
yep.
My bad.
Casted that on Thursday? I casted it recently.
That's right. That was pretty recent. Okay, so Meek going with a bit of an early aggression here. I believe that was a 5-farm double.
Yeah, he sold the forward mill into double Warrens, and I mean he could get away with it, but because Daffy put down his Warrens late and supply blocked himself, but
yeah. Also, you don't have to overreact and get 3 tier 1 Warrens. Two should be plenty to allow you to farm up. So
a 3 Warren build is that you can actually counterattack. Meek comes in, he loses his lizards or whatever, and then you push back.
Oh, I see.
Because you'll have a higher army. It's how I've got some of my wins against Meek before, where he's taken out like 3 farms, but I've still managed to win just because I had, a bigger army. I pushed back and took 4 of his.
Well, in that case, Rattan has a bit of a scary timing here. That campfire is going to make a lot of things rough for him.
That campfire is so awkwardly placed. If he was able to just keep walking straight in with Squirrel Toad against the 3 lizards, he would destroy Meek, but...
Yeah, I think his timing window is closing here. Just a little bit by a little bit. Meek trying to counterattack. This might hurt. This might hurt.
Yeah, 3 lizards can do something, but I mean, Rattan can just push forward and get that pig in return. He shouldn't move back. That's a mistake by Daffy. The pigs will clean this up.
Yeah, so Meek basically traded 3 lizards for a Warren and also a couple more seconds of safety.
I mean, Daffy could still move in, but imagine if he'd moved in just then. He could have picked off these squirrels that are forward. He could have picked off the pig. Instead, he's going for the Warren, and Meek's fine with this because that just gives him more time to rebuild his army. And so
2 of the toads do not connect.
Yeah.
All right. However, I mean, Rattan still has a bit of an eco lead. Meek just farmed up, but I don't know. This is definitely very strongly in favor of Meek, but we could see. We'll see. Thing is, Meek has the triple tier 1. He has a lot of options, so he can counter whatever Rattan throws at him early game wise. And then once he gets ahead, he can use his turrets and ferrets to really push the advantage.
All the lizards have been sold. I like the 4 skunks coming up from Daffy, Rattan, whichever you prefer. Meek does scout the double tier 2. Might provoke a push in, but I don't know if he would actually win that. Or defender's advantage, I think Daffy could hold. The real problem for Daffy is him falling behind eco. Yeah,
he put a lot of money into that double tier 2, whereas Meek is doubling down with his tier 1 and putting a turret in a little choke. So Rattan would have to go all the way across this water and up this way if he wanted to do any damage. Otherwise, he's just behind on farms.
I think maybe the best move for Daffy there would be to have not tried to eco up, to just go all in, spam as many toads as you can, and then walk in with your 4 skunks. Because as far as you know, Meek is still only on tier 1. That's a very tough call to make, but I think it would have been the right one.
Yeah. Okay, so one turret goes down, and some toads are going in favor of Rattan here.
This is a tight choke point, but with the machine guns up here, and with Meek preemptively moving his squirrels all the way out, like that was a really smart move.
Brilliant pro move, getting the squirrels out there, not for base trading or anything, but just to be ready for a surround.
Yeah.
That's a crushing move.
Yeah.
Well done for Meek.
That's the top tier plays.
So smart. So smart. He knows exactly what Rattan needs to be able to do, and so he sets up for it. Kipo says, that is why Meek is in the finals.
Yeah,
yes, indeed. Meek is playing very, very strongly right now. I'm impressed with Rattan, though, putting up a really good fight here.
Yeah, he is. Pushing through the water, it might actually work thanks to the toads. Problem is, his opponent's got so much tier 1 that 3 toads isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, 3 toads does not clear 13 lizards anymore.
Yeah, and
this is going to be a lot of damage.
Come in and, I mean, he's going to pick off these 2 warrens. That's not disastrous. He gets a decent amount of... well, he gets 4
He lost
lizards.
2 lizards for that.
That wasn't a great trade. And
he's just doubling down.
I hate it when Meek does this, because he knows you want to counterattack. You know, you're thinking, okay, his lizards are gone, I need to get in, maybe cut them off. And he just realizes he can go back in.
He's getting so much value. Also, Meek got some more farms here, an extra mill there just to make sure Daffy can't get it. And he's teching up to a Falcon Bolt.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry.
Yeah,
Rattan is teching
going
up
to the Falcons. The big asset for the Falcons at the moment is that they can gun down the machine guns. This is basically Daffy's last chance to attack, because Meek just went for 8 farms. Even more, he's gone for 11 farms. So,
yeah, that's so much money, and Daffy has a huge tech advantage, so he actually has a bit of a
moment
he's just
going to
go
for a base race.
I mean, Meek can do that.
Base races. He needed to. Daffy needed to be moving his skunks back, I think, to deal with this.
Something has to go back.
Yeah.
Those squirrels, if he just clicked instead of clicking and holding, those squirrels would be gunning down lizards right now. Yep, there we go. Yep, no, don't click and hold. There's no pigs back at home for Rattan.
There's only 3 lizards, but they will get it eventually. Almost definitely faster than this. I mean, if Daffy could afford to build this mill, I think he'd actually get it up in time.
If Daffy could just burrow home and send a couple of units back,
he's committing to a dumb base race here when he actually could have survived.
I think he had it, but
yeah, and he was right in the warrens as well. So if he'd left his army there to clear off all the warrens, like, Meek wouldn't have been able to rebuild. His economy would have been useless. Daffy actually could have done that.
Yeah, again, if you just click the attack, your units will find the nearest target and shoot instead of coming to you. So Rattan was clicking and holding and forcing his reinforcements to come in instead of clicking once, letting them clean up the lizards.
Daffy's going for a bit of a... I don't know if Daffy's just given up and is memeing, or if this is a real build, but it might actually work pretty well against what Meek's bringing.
This is a meme build that Rattan got 2nd place the last Pocket Bot Cup using. He got all the way up to... I don't remember who it was in the finals. It might have been Meek, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was. But the idea is you set up a contain and then base race.
I know the idea. This is a really old style of play. It's called the Pile build because of a really old player named Pile who used to do it. Yeah. Daffy, I mean, it definitely can work. It's harder to make it work when your opponent's got toads. Toads being in the current state that they are.
Right, as well as your opponent just being Meek and being so familiar with all of the crazy ways of playing.
Mm-hmm.
The minute Meek sees it, he should know exactly what to do to shut it down.
Yeah. It's not an ideal map for Daffy. It's not terrible.
Yeah, it could be worse.
He can shut off this forward mill of Meek's if he takes this forward mill here. And that back mill is relatively secure. All the water... There is a way for Meek to get round, but with his army, he'd have to really move out the way.
Yeah, and Meek doesn't have lizards, so if Meek had the faster units, that would help him even more. But
it's possible Daffy could actually win this. And I like the defenses do pretty well against I think they do comparatively well against the all tier 2 army, because defenses are naturally like you get a lot of bang for your buck out of them. Meek does have the falcons, the snakes, which are good at poking, which are anti-siege, but balloons.
Well, and then balloons. If you get enough balloons, that is like the best counter for Mass Falcon.
Yeah.
As far as straight up fights, also because it shoots the commander down right away. But now, interestingly, those skunks for Meek are not going to do that much. Since all Raton has is buildings and lizards.
Yeah, it's this early balloon. Meek could just go in here. Balloons don't do too great against just brawl tier 1.
Yeah.
The machine gun.
Okay, so he spells the skunk.
This is going well. That. Okay, Raton's getting set up.
I do like the spot he's chosen for this. It makes a lot of sense.
He doesn't need to send his lizards in here because the balloon would just snipe them off. But I mean, it's not exactly a problem that he did it. He definitely traded up still.
Okay, I like the wire. The minute that wire is actually up.
Yeah, I mean the wire still did its job. The wire traded for the toads in the early game, and that left the lizards clear to fight the squirrels.
Exactly. I think that's a great use of wire. You don't really want your toads going up on half-built buildings.
And Meek still doesn't have a expansion. This isn't looking.
Yeah, as long as Raton doesn't get too greedy, I think he's got a pretty good position here.
Mill? Yes, he is.
Okay, so he scouted Mass Tier 1. So let's see what Raton's response to that is.
I see what he wants to do here. He wants Daffy to put his lizards back to deal this, so Meek's free to attack in. Is he just going? He's just going around. The classic strategy of walking around the defense. He's going for a base race. Oh my god.
Now what if Meek put like a cam warren back or something?
Oh, that's do the tiki. Hide a warren.
Okay, this is a brilliant place to take on these defenses from. And Raton wants to go do the base trade, but Meek set that up. He knows that's the idea, and this base trade is not going to work. Okay, you know what? He's not trying to kill the mill. That's good. He's killing the economy instead.
Oh wait, are you still at Raton attacking the pigs?
Yes. Am I slightly late? Let me speed up a little bit.
I'm slightly ahead of you.
Okay. It looks like Meek is currently counterattacking to kill the balloon.
Through. As Daffy lost all his lizards in that farm pickoff, Meek was able to smash through the defenses.
Now Raton has got a huge economic lead right now. It looks like.
Yeah, he does.
So all he has to do is hold.
Keep holding, but the warrens are going down. He's nearly there. The reinforcements are drying up for Meek. If he can even just keep a few farms alive.
Oh man, guys, I think this is close. This is close.
He's down to 2 warrens though. Yeah, Daffy lost almost all his warrens, which makes it basically even. In fact, Daffy's down to 2 farms now.
Okay, I'm right. At the moment I'm at, Raton has 6 farms, and he just rebuilt warrens. Oh, there we go. They just popped. They dried up. So 2 farms, warrens. 2 and 3 are building, and Meek has got a lot of money to farm up his ninja.
Okay, yeah. Meek has just farmed up his ninja. He's going straight up to 8 farms, and he's actually pretty safe doing it because he's still got the army tempo.
Yeah, I think Meek has won.
Yeah,
Meek just won.
Meek was able to sell warrens, whereas Daffy wasn't.
If Daffy had been able, like if this had happened a minute or 2 sooner before Daffy's farms all dried up, it might be different. But Meek has won at this point.
Yeah, I don't really see how Daffy... Because if Daffy goes for this mill, then, I mean, he either loses all his lizards again, or he just loses his base.
Yeah, and Daffy still doesn't know about Meek's ninja.
What he does, he's attacking it.
Oh, okay, you got it.
But he's cost him all his lizards, because, again, he's got no way out.
Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Sorry I lost the last couple of seconds of that. I was a little bit behind on that replay. They went into that game so quick. But it looks like Meek has 1-2-0.
Sealed it for the lizard wizards.
Yes. Now, again, Meek was the favored player. He is top 2, so it would have been a very big upset. But Khan played very well.
Yeah, Daffy brought it closer than you'd expect. Also, a bit of a shame that we on the Badger Missionary side, we didn't get Melvin to come in, or I didn't get to fight Night Slayer, because it meant the Lizard Wizards got Tiki and Meek, who are both like semi-finalists at least in the league, and we lost our best player in Melvin. Yes. So it was a tough.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That was a bit of a
real
loss.
Life is
very,
going
very
away
strong.
a bit, but we gave it our best shot.
Yeah. Again, congrats to Raton there. Those were some really, really good fights. You about had Meek on a back foot there in a couple of those.
I mean, Meek, I think, was the only game that has been won 2-0 by either side.
That's right. Yeah, so, all the other games were 2-1.
Yeah. So it was pretty close all around.
Yeah. So, guys, the result of that is Lizard Wizard Magic is going to go up against the Road Gang for the finals. And out of, I think it's 8 clans, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe out of 8 clans, Badger Missionary is in a solid 3rd place there.
Mm-hmm.
And very excited for some of these clans to come back in the next Clan Wars, whenever that will be. I assume there will be another one.
Yeah,
just don't know when yet. I think there's going to be a gentleman tournament, and then myself and Lupus are organizing a 2v2 team championship.
Yeah, probably want to finish off the league and do the the Duels challenge first before we start the Clan Wars again.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kipo. I forgot about that. Lizard Wizard Magic and Toad Gang were the 2 original clans, it looks like. Badger Missionaries was a little bit later up, but very, very strong contender as well. And I believe FXB, it might be the oldest clan outside of Tooth and Tail. But,
because they go back to StarCraft days.
Yes. You say it like StarCraft days are over.
Well, I guess they're not. They started a while ago.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. I'm a StarCraft player, so. Yeah. All right, thank you for co-casting with me, Josh.
No worries.
I'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, it was fun. Don't know when we'll next see each other, but PocketBot tomorrow. I'll be doing that in my channel.
All right, awesome. I'll see if I can do some of that as well.
All right. Okay then, I'll leave you to it. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Toodles.